After the weeks of hype and build-up, it's finally here. The 20th Men's Volleyball World Championship in Poland and Slovenia begins. And what a great match to kick us off here in Ljubljana. Three-time world champions in the team who've lost the last two finals, Brazil versus four-time world championship medalist Cuba. A repeat of the 2010 World Champs final in Rome, this one. And how these teams would love to be running out in 16 days' time at the Spodek in Katowice at the culmination of this year's event. 24 teams on the start line this year. Two of the 6 first-round pools in Poland. The remaining 4 here at Arena Stojice in Ljubljana, Slovenia's vibrant, buzzing, beautiful capital city. The hosts, by the way, begin their campaign tonight here against Cameroon at 20:30 CET. Big news for Brazil coming into these world champs. His coach Renan's success in persuading Wallace to end his international retirement. The veteran opposite had called it a day after the Tokyo Olympics, but after Brazil's disappointing VNL campaign earlier this summer, they went cap in hand to ask the veteran two-time Olympic gold medalist to return. Alan de Souza's injury has undermined their attacking options, so Wallace will mentor the 20-year-old Darlan. Felipe Roque is the third opposite in this party, and the great Bruno is setting once again for the Seleção. The big news for Cuba, the giant blocker Robert Landy Simon is back after missing the summer of success that they've enjoyed. Big omission from the Cuba team that's had a fantastic couple of months, including that Challenger Cup with no Roami Alonso, who's injured, but Simon comes back in, one of the finest defensive players in the world. They start with Melcarejo and Lopez with Herrera as the opposite, and Cuba, make no mistake about it, are flying here. So this is a group that also includes Japan and Qatar. We are ready to go here at the World Champs 2022. Andy Bodfish in the commentary box for this one, joined by Mark Perkins. This is a big tournament for Coach Renan and Brazil.
It is a huge tournament for Brazil. They've got to get back to their ways. Some are talking about Brazil not being their strongest lineup they've ever had, and they're quite right. They're not fully there yet, and you mentioned about 2010, the last time these two met, actually, in the World Champs. It's a huge game. This pool is a really interesting pool with Japan and Qatar in it as well, but this game is about power, and Cuba and Brazil have it in abundance.
Well, Cuba, one of the great names in volleyball world champs history. They are back at the top table, and they want to be competitive here in Ljubljana. Good to go then here in Ljubljana. Brazil versus Cuba, first up here in Pool B. Japan, Qatar comes later, France, Germany. 17:30 local time, and then Slovenia open up their campaign in the final match of the day. That's against Cameroon. Well, let's take a look at some of the key players, including Yoandi Leal, former Cuban international.
Yeah, we talked about Brazil being all about power. Well, Leal and Luca Ralli in that left-hand side slot are going to be hugely influential in this game. The challenge they're going to have is how well can Leal pass? Within the VNL, sometimes he's struggled bringing in that pass for Brazil.
Yeah, nice moment there between Wallace and Lopez Castro. Rivals, but great friends at the top of the game, and there's a bit of cross-pollination as well with a couple of this Cuban squad playing their domestic volleyball in Italy, same as one or two of these Brazilian players. So here we have the player introductions, first introduced at the VNL this year. Starters come through, that's Lucas and Flavio, who form the starting block for Brazil. It's a difficult VNL campaign for them. Disappointed not to reach the semi-finals. The pressure is mounting on Renan Del Zotto. They need a huge world champs here. Of course, the heritage is good. Brazil have made the final of the last 5 world championships, but crucially, they've lost the last 2 of them, both to Poland in 2014 and 2018. It'll be a major shock if they don't survive deep into the competition when it shifts to Katowice in Poland for the final 4. But there's coach Renan Del Zotto, the ex-player who competed at 3 Olympics for Brazil. Took charge after the Rio Olympics, replacing the great Bernardinho. They need a big gold medal, a world champs or an Olympics under his tenure, surely. Now we see the Cuban starting 6s. That's Jesus Herrera wearing 12, and Melgarejo, who starts as one of the wing spikers. Now then, big player in every sense, really. Robert Landy Simon, the 2-metre-8-centimetre giant blocker, just transferred to Piacenza from Lube in Italy. The same move made by Lucarelli on the opposite side of the net. And he's going to be huge for Cuba in defence, quite literally.
But went on dominated, undefeated through that process. And it is great to see Cuba back in the VNL, or will be next year. Great to see them back in the VNL. And this is a great start to the World Championships. 2 very competitive teams against each other. The rivalry here is massive. Yeah. But the level of intensity is going to be huge. It is about power. How well will each team serve? It's going to be the serving strength here. As we see, Simonovic is the first referee on the stand. Well, this will be Cuba getting us underway in a moment.
Yeah, he'll be assisted down on the line by Denis Cespedes of the Dominican Republic for this opening match of the 2022 FIVB Men's Volleyball World Championships. So, away we go. Brazil versus Cuba. Cuba in the blue, serving the first of 52 matches in this year's event, en route to the final in Katowice, 2 weeks on Sunday.
It's like he's never been away. First ball in. Bruno goes back to Wallace on the back line, the right, and absolutely delivers a huge swing. That's a nice welcome back, isn't it?
Yeah. Here we go. Brazil with their first serve. Bruno, that legendary setter, played in that 2010 final. That's a diagonal of pure quality. Herrera piercing the block.
Slightly different action to Wallace with that left hand coming across on the right-hand side, but he is going to be a busy man today, Herrera.
Comes on the inside there. Lucas can't quite cover, so 1-1 here The first set, a little roll over the block, and Cuba can't improvise. Power just coming down. Brazil go 2-1.
Lucarelli adapting quickly onto that set. The ball, again, the ball was flat in on the pass, a little bit harder for Bruno to do anything with, which then forced Lucarelli into the tip.
Serve picked up, joust, and Simon didn't quite get the contact he wanted. Then they pushed to back court. That's a splendid piece of digging. Then a chance to smack into Simon. Back it comes.
Well, hustle from Bruno, and then you mentioned about Simon being a monster on the block. Well, that was just an incredible block. Inside the 3-meter line, Leal. Mind you, Leal was a little bit further off the net. A little bit easier for Simon to read.
Simon, he was voted the best middle blocker in Serie A last year in Italy. That's the quality he brings. So no Roami Alonso, but Simon slots straight back in to surely improve even a team who've had a spectacular summer of success. You mentioned it a little earlier, Mark. Cuba back in the VNL next year. They're a great name in terms of volleyball heritage and history, and it'll be wonderful to see them as a top 16 team again next summer.
They're many people's dark horses for this competition, but in a really tough pool again with Japan and Qatar.
Lucas said his injury worries. Wasn't a surefire thing that he would be on the roster here. He was on and then taken off as Renan Del Zotto had to just tinker really with the names that he was going to bring here to Slovenia and Poland. It's 3-3 first set. Cuba back on serve. Great pickup by the libero, and look at that.
As good as a set can be, as good an attack is, what he received from Talas out to his right-hand side. Look at that, eyes on the ball. The forearms were pointing right to Bruno the whole way he did that move. That is how you pass a ball in midair.
4-3 Brazil. Oh, quick middle, and that's an absolute spanker from Simon.
It goes to many YouTube clips. You're going to see that over and over again. Simon with that rocket of an arm.
4-4. Robert Landy Simon with the serve. Oof. Well,
not
didn't miss by much, but it missed.
Yeah, not quite the feed. Same thing with Lucas' serve earlier. The feed wasn't quite right. They try and do a shorter run-up, but a big topspin serve. But if the feed was too far in front, he's never going to get over that ball properly.
So here's Yoandi Leal. Serves to the middle. Set needs to be good. They're hitting off the net. That gives the blockers an opportunity. They're still in play. No, that's gone clean over the top from Lucarelli. There's
a little bit of confusion early on that point. There was a buzzer sounded from the Brazilian bench, and they said no, they didn't touch it. So some of the teams didn't actually know what was playing. That's why Bruno's leaving it. And then Flavio went, nope, ball's still live, referee hasn't blown. You had to place the whistle. No touch there on the block. You see the gap in that block there.
Nelson Vives is the Cuba coach, former player on the national team, competed at the Sydney Olympics back in 2000. Again, the serve is at the libero, 2 in the air there for Brazil. But Cuba in control, hitting off the net, advantage with the blocker. Flavio kills it.
There was only one option there, going Herrera. Flavio read it well. When you see the reach over the net, it's not just the height, but it's the press over.
6-5, point for point here in the opening set. Nice and tight and competitive. Brazil contained with that block. And hitting down the middle. Oh, they're going for a block touch. They've got it as well. 2-point gap has opened out for the first time in this match.
That from the back line from Leal. That's how you use the block to your advantage. Aim high in the hands. Obviously, Cuba know they touched it, hence there was no challenge.
Lovely quick set. And the ball just rolled over the top, nice and smooth. Livana Surya.
Yeah, the ball coming in the system there. We see the replay, that slide attack. Flavio's trying to move across. Luca's trying to move across to get that gap. And the attack goes down the left-hand side.
So we're round again to Melgarejo on serve. So that's Lucarelli, who tries to hit to the insides. Well, they get it to go 8-6. Cuba aren't going to be happy about this.
Now, referee's signalling that the ball was in. He signified there. Coaches said the ball was out. They got a choice if they want to challenge, but there seems to be a lot of confusion on the bench behind the scorer's desk at the moment about what's happening. But the action is hotting up. Yeah, well in. I love how the coach has got his hands up there.
8-6. Again, set wasn't great. It's a bit of a wave over the top, which gives Brazil the advantage, not an opportunity they were going to pass up. A gap has opened out now. It's a problem with that Cuban set over to wing side, wasn't it?
Yeah, as soon as there's an error like that, you give Brazil a free ball effectively, and they're going to take advantage. Interesting, they see Lucas coming in close to Bruno. Just gives Leao that space on the back line.
That backslide for Herrera to hit on the diagonal. Brazil have defended it. Wallacey just pushes that into the block and makes sure of winning it, draws down all that power.
Great experience. There's a video challenge coming in here. That's a really good experience from Wallacey. Knowing they couldn't swing through, the block was right over, but there was a gap there, so he was able to push it in and to the right-hand side to play it out of position. So the challenges options has gone for Cuba.
Teams have a couple of these challenges permitted per set. If you win the challenge, you keep the challenge. So if you lose 2 challenges, that's it, done and dusted. No more until the next set. Brazil are threatening to just open out an advantage here in this opening set. It was point for point up until a 6 apiece.
So Cuba, everybody's looking right above the centre of the court is where the screen is, why all the players are looking directly above there, trying to see whether there's a block touch from Wallacey. So as he's come through on the ball, it's not the easiest screens for the players to be able to see this from. I've never seen 2 teams spread at the back of court. It's like the end of the set, isn't it? So there we see Wallacey using the hands beautifully well. Last touch was definitely Cuba's. That's what we're talking about, the experience there. He knew he wasn't going to get the kills, or he just used the hand, pushed it off. Cuba are thinking actually then the blocks pushed it on to Wallacey. And in the heart of the action, it's a hard one to call, but there's a challenge down.
It is 10-6 here. Still with the lead of 4, opening set again. Oh, that's great agility by Talis, the libero, crunched into the block again. That's wiped out. It's Lucarelli. Brazil pulling away now, hitting the upper gears, 11-6.
Lucarelli going hard and high in the hands. There you see the block almost, he's fading away as well, so he's trying to take that ball more cross-court, Zaria, the captain. And by doing that, the court just opens up for him as well. The outside of the forearm, he can't control that. He's already committed to go to his left-hand side and out of play.
Timeout. This is a repeat of the gold medal match 12 years ago at the Pala Lottomatica in Rome. Won in straight sets by Brazil. Their last World Championship title and their last of 3 successive titles. They were the dominant team in the 2000s. Cuba will gratefully receive any gift offered up, and that was a mistake from the serve line. So, ball in hand now with Livana Surya. Another service fault. Lucarelli next here for Brazil. Just moved to Piacenza. What a team they're going to have next season, by the way, in Italy, Piacenza. Oof. Yeah, that's made that line.
Simon gets the first attack in, and he still runs that second one, and the blockers then still got to think. This is where the kind of tactical play for the setters is going right. If I can bring the middle in early, and then if I can disguise that pipe attack coming over his shoulder to the left-hand side, you just see Lucas went one little bounce early with Simon, and then went, actually, no, it's gone to the pipe. Too late then to kind of make any influence on the block.
Float serve that has too much float on it from Guida that time, the Cuban setter. Now Brazil have established this rolling lead now of 5 points in the opening set. Lucas with the next serve. Again, set wasn't great, really. And Brazil get a bit of a hustle that time.
What Bruno's doing on that set, he's forcing the ball flat and in. So then Leão's able to then use the block to his advantage. He had two attempts at that time to then wipe off the left-hand side of the block.
So Levan Taboada comes in for Adrian Guida as they switch the setters here, Cuba. Serve that goes to Garcia, the libero. Thou shalt not pass, say Brazil in the block again. And that angle that comes back in court, down in the dust. Super block this.
The time and the position, Flavio is becoming one of the world's best middle players in this development.
Lucas again goes at Garcia. Not that time for Brazil.
They see the block again, trying to get that press over. Well, as soon as that ball's hit hard on the hands.
Oh, they almost contained with that block.
But the ball took an age to come down from the pass from Tales. Bruno in the middle of the court. Options to go. It was always going to be left to right.
Lopez just takes that half a step to his left as well before having to make the readjustment. Can't dig it. 16-9 here for Brazil, first set. Big serve to the corner by Wallacey. Cuba wrestle it through. Up and over from wing side, so 16-10 now. And it's Simon to serve. Great block. They've shut down Wallacey.
That's a huge block. Wallacey's coming in, but he's gone to swing cross. As you see the angle, gone cross. The block has held their position. They're not really forced over, but look at the position of their hands. That left hand forces the ball back in.
Then Cuba block deep into back court. They transfer it again to Wallacey. Not that time from Cuba.
Wallacey this time let the ball come across a little bit. You see his follow through goes down the side, so he's going to his right hand side, effectively going down the line. There he's trying to squeeze that gap between the block and the antenna, gets the upper arm of the blocker, goes out of play.
Leão serves heavy, and it drops beyond the baseline, so a gift back for Cuba. And it's Brazil in control still of this opening set here in Ljubljana, day one, match one of these 2022 FIVB Men's Volleyball World Championships. Oh, that's a ripper down the middle. Too hot to handle. Cuba, they're clawing into this deficit.
We said at the start how good can these two teams serve at each other, and Cuba are going to have to serve really hard.
Jesus Herrera then having torpedoed the ace down the middle. Goes again. Oh, 2 from 2.
Well, he's on a roll, he's on a rhythm. Herrera.
Spectacular service.
Here we see it again from the left-hand side of the court. He's looking for that corridor inserting between the two defenders, so Tales and Leal. Now, Leal isn't the quickest. I don't mean that rudely to him either. He's not the quickest in the movement, and he's going to rely a lot on Tales actually going, I'll take that one up, I'll step up to take that ball. He's good, but he's not that good, and that was a phenomenal serve.
Segurar, deu a porrada, segura, a gente sabe que vai acontecer isso, tá? Eles vão vir pro pau o tempo todo.
They led by 6. Now the advantage has been slashed by half. A cheeky timeout just to disrupt the concentration and the process of Jesus Herrera. 2 aces from 2. Goes again. That time, Tales has picked it up. Lucarelli just scoops it back into mid-court. Cuba immediately in control. Little roll over the top. Cuba, watch out. Here they come.
Really clever play, seeing the defence of Brazil really deep. It was a fast play because Bruno just played that ball over to the 2 position. Ran a really quick pipe and really good. You see there, the last-minute change and then just rolling that ball. Tales is set so deep.
Oh, the quick middle, and he's hit that too early. Cuba have another point back. They're going for a block touch, are they?
Flavio really tucked up on that attack.
Oof,
Every single one of them went into the referee to say, in theory, he should only be the captain doing that, but they're all going that way. That was good sporting spirit shown there by Cuba as well. We've seen this with the challenge system happening, that as soon as Brazil have called the challenge, Cuba have gone, yeah, I didn't actually touch it. So even we saw it on the replay. It's nice spirit being shown by Cuba. Ooh.
Just came off the fingertips of Osorio there in the middle. It hasn't disrupted Cuba, though, because, again, well, that's Taboada, the setter, who's come in for Goida to produce an inspired piece of defending there.
After almost that ball being an ace serve, confusion between the two, to come up with a one-on-one block, that is a huge point for Cuba.
Big serve. Oh, yes. Ace serve again. They've found their mojo from the service line here in this opening set now. They really have of Team Cuba.
But they've also, they're targeting Adriano, who's come on for Leal on this receive. We saw that, we've seen that in previous games going on. That's where they've gone hard on the serve again.
So just about clips the tape. The Wallacey brings down all that power, just tucks them in at the net, rolls it over the top. Nice one to just get steady again here, Brazil. At a point where they were undoubtedly rocking in this first set.
I see Herrera's feet there, just taking that step back. He knew what was coming, hadn't set himself correctly, couldn't get in there. Look at that frustration, he knew.
Backslide for the block. Lucarelli gets high, sends it down.
That's even got the Brazilian bench in their hands in the air with a monster block. It was an obvious set. A little bit far forward for Herrera. Look at that press. The grimace on the face of Lucarelli as he shuts out inside the 3-meter line.
20 plays 17 first set. Brazil have the leads. Crunch back though. And, well, Brazil aren't happy. They're calling that as a clean out here. Off that Cuban spike.
Love Lucarelli's passion. Trying to show, look, it was just there. It landed just there. So Brazil are challenging the ball in out. Obviously, these two referees are working alone without any lines people. So it's been a really, really good technique using the Hawkeye for line in, ball out. Let's have a look. Was Lucarelli right? Lucarelli was correct.
He was right over it. You can tell so much, can't you, by the players' just instinctive reaction.
So now we've got another challenge coming in. This is now a challenge for block touch. So we know the ball was out, but has it come off from the middle attack? Has it come off the block from the Brazilian hands? So now we'll have another check. Hawkeye are working extra hard today on this back-to-back challenge.
Yeah, wind the tape back, find the correct angle. And it's a big call for Cuba. Second challenge, isn't it? They lost their first one.
Yeah, they get obviously 2 unsuccessful challenges set. And this is a really, really big point as well. When you see the scores as it is now, 21-17. If this is reversed round, it goes to 18-20. So it's a massive swing, especially at this crucial stage when Cuba have just done everything they can to get back in it. Ooh, little finger. Look at that. That's why Lucarelli went out of play, because it touched you.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was the one that demonstrated the ball was out as well.
The scale of his animation over the ball was out. Let's forget about my part.
Was that the distraction technique, do you think? So Yanton now to serve for Cuba, 18-20.
Clever. Hitting down the opposite side.
Lucarelli adapting there, while the set necessarily wasn't right for him. Adapted well with the play.
So it's 21-18 here. Gripping first set in Ljubljana. Containment in that block there, but have been forced into the overpass. Here come Cuba. Simon is the decoy. Oh,
that was great sportsmanship by Simon there, just going, all right, no, guys, just carry on playing until it's done. But there he drew it. Simon had the ball, but he drew the block so well. And the setter was able just to bring that back play in. You see no block whatsoever.
Herrera kills it.
Dalzotto being called over by the first referee now.
There was a point when Brazil were all set to run away with the lead, and potentially at that stage the set hasn't worked out like that for Renan's team.
Those two aces from Herrera are the real big game changer, where they're getting them back into it. Attack line fault, nowhere near.
Way back from the 3-meter line on the approach there. Herrera. Again, you've got a couple of challenges to throw in, and the closer we get to the end of the set, might as well have a punt. But it's not panned out for Brazil. It is 21-19, 2-point set here. Great containment on that block here from Cuba. Then they set to wing sides. 21 plays 20.
Lucas turns away. He knew he got his fingers to that one. Great hustle from Cuba. See, the hand's quite flat. Good picking. Taboada settled into his setting duties now since coming on.
Just about clears the net. Lovely angle on that. Yoandi layout, drills it on the diagonal. 22-20.
To get that body turned across, to turn the wrist as well, and to cut that angle, it's really impressive to watch this. And that was made so much easier because Simon went with the middle, so it's just literally a one-on-one, so it opens that court up for him.
Lucas, big serve, equally huge pickup.
Oh,
and that's scuffled through the blocking players. Clever piece of finishing by Miguel Angel Lopez there again. 22-21.
Taboada forcing the set flat. There you see it's almost like a boomerang at the ball, wasn't it? Right into the camera. It just came off as soon as Leao was out of position.
Now it's Lopez to serve here. Oh, wow! 22-all.
Wow, we're going to do balls into this set, I think. What an ace. His hand right over the top of that, and that has leveled the game at 22-22. Quite right. I'd celebrate like that too. We said at the start, Lopez was one of the ones to watch. And in the Challenge Cup, they were just incredibly powerful.
Wallace ali, tá? Apresentar já, tá aqui. Wallace, ficar em quarto ali, ok? E vou dar de primeiro, bora. Bora.
It's been the aggression of Cuba, not necessarily what Brazil have done anything wrong. It's Cuba coming back with the strong serves. And then the passionate play where they've been able to turn those points around. It was 5 down earlier on to now level it.
So Lopez to serve again. Gone too big that time. Just couldn't repeat it. Just couldn't repeat it after the timeout.
It's even that little minute there just to distract the server as well in that run of form. Big blocking sub on now with Roque. Well, as big as a block he was, that was a beautiful line. Well, blocker didn't do his job, did he? It's hard as well. You just come on, you know you got one job to do. The set was quite tricky.
And Mel Herrego with the kill. That means Simon will serve here for Cuba at 23-all at the end of a riveting first set. A little bit of sting taken out of the serve because it clipped the net tape on the way through. Unless somebody's changed the rules without telling us. Set point for Brazil, not match point for Cuba.
Una recepción, como siempre decimos, con seguridad en la recepción. Lo que la bola no puede picar en el piso. Recibimos y cuando hay tres bloqueos inteligentes en el ataque. Y seguimos jugando, pero salimos del saque con inteligencia en el ataque.
Thumbs up indeed from Vives. Even though they're trying to save a set point here. Yoandi Leal then on serve. Former Cuban international. Goes big, needed picking up. And they set to wing side. It was tight, but it's made the line. Sniel Melgarejo. The real big points contributors from this summer of success they've had. Yeah, just hits across and down. 24-all, set point saved. Cuba blocking, here come Brazil again. Quick to the middle, it's just not enough room or time there for the block to readjust.
That relationship is really building between Flavio and Bruno, very much like the Lucas-Bruno relationship has been going for years and years. Flavio just knew when the ball was tight at the net, if he got behind Bruno there's an opportunity. The block wasn't set, easy to wipe off.
Set point number 2, and they've switched in here Rodriguinho try and help them do it. Just gets a clip off that block. It's another set point saved. That time the crunch came from Herrera.
You can almost tell it was going to go there. Block having to move across. You see them just drifting as well. While Lucarelli was drifting, Herrera just was able to use their hands to his advantage. Second set point saved.
Service faults. Brazil have a third set point. This time it's the skipper, Bruno. Floats that. Oh. Well, Brazil are crashing the net. It's off that short serve from Bruno, but the combination wasn't working. Cuba were alert to it.
Yeah, Wallace forcing on the way down. You see, always Lucas just bumping into him a little bit. Once you're in mid-air, you can't control yourself there, so just catching with his chest.
Set was saved. That time it's Cuba with the infringement.
Goes Bruno into the net. The ball was tight to the net. The back of Bruno's come up.
So Brazil having passed up the chance to win this set on 3 occasions. They have to save a set point. Cuba on serve. She'll come again, second phase. And that throw into the block, the ball just careers behind that Brazil baseline.
Good play from Lucarelli there. Just wait for that ball to come across. You see him, literally 2 steps coming into court. Hands are there, easy for picking off.
Lucarelli, 27 all. Off the block, pick up, set for the hit. Leal is shut down, so here come Cuba.
On the line.
Oh, yeah, that's a miss, isn't it? Yeah. They're giving themselves the chance to end that hustle and then miss the play.
Lopez goes in twice for these attacks. You see him a little bit early, hangs, and it's that right hand is just slicing around the ball. Is always going to move wide down the line. He do it.
Set point number 4 for Brazil. Oh, quick middle again. Simon with a quick up and down. No getting that back.
When the ball's in on system there, on point, Simon's going to get it every single time.
$28 all. What a way to open up the world champs here in Ljubljana. Big high hands with a pick-up backcourt there from Melgarejo. Then Brazil blocking inside. Oh, they have another set point themselves here, Cuba.
Good play from Cuba there, working the ball across the court on the different attacks. And that meant the block had to work extra hard, moving across to their left-hand side. And at the end, there you see Lucas was drifting.
Crunch down the line. That's Brazil saving a set point. We're at 29 all here at the end of a first set. It's a blockbuster first set in this first match of the World Champs. So next up to bat here, Lucas. Cuba have received that serve. Oh, that's a cracking piece of defending there from Wallace. On his own, he just threw that back. A one-on-one, and it's the defender who wins the challenge. So 30-29, it's Brazil's 5th set point. Oh, just out, just the wrong side. You can tell how close that was by Leal's reaction.
There's a good powerful serve from Lucas. He got the momentum right for themselves there. Again, the block couldn't quite turn because they drifted their hands to the left. They're not able to get that press in.
I mean, quite a way to win the set. How'd that come inside the line? 30 plays 30. To set, hit him way off the net. And it caught that tape, skidded past the block. Defensive contribution wasn't even required there from Cuba. 31-30 now in Cuba's favour. They have their third set point.
Bruno waiting an age for that ball to come down. Leal watched it come over his shoulder. Good position on the block. While he was that far off the net, they were able to just force him to go cross court.
Lopez serving here for Cuba. Oh,
Well
played, really well dealt with. That pick-up and the set for
Bruno.
the spike.
That one-hand set from Bruno there, you see. No, it's not just one-hand set, but it's also the vision just to push it into the path of Flavio.
Great synchronicity between setter and hitter there. 31 plays 31. Shallow hit to the inside from Melgarejo, finding that angle and the pace required as well. It's come well inside the sideline.
Flavio went with the middle blocker of Simon there, and that left it one-on-one. As soon as that opens up, that corner comes in. Leal was a little bit slow to come back off the net, and Tallis was saying, that was yours, you should have been covering that.
32-31. Big serve. Set needs to be good here. It's Leal to hit into the block. Brazil come again. Leal gets another bite at the cherry. Bit of a weak hit into the middle of the block. Down it comes. Cuba on their fourth set point take a blockbuster opening set here.
Just have a moment to pause on that. Wow. I mean, they played Brazil on that final point beautifully well. They were stacked to the left-hand side. It could only go one way. Cuba forgot to go. They're actually changing sides. Here we see the block there, three-man wall. Leal not actually going high enough on the hands as a hard hit, as he has done before. What a set from Cuba.
What a set, indeed. First match of these world champs. Start as you mean to go on. The tone has been set here in Ljubljana, the host for 4 of these 6 first-round pools at the 2022 Worlds. Cuba have just about taken it at the end. That's how close it was. Those 4 aces, though.
There, those aces, those 2 in a row for Herrera when they were 5 down. Got back into that set. As you said, it was that rolling 5-point for a while for Brazil. But then it was just error-free from Cuba in what they played. They forced Brazil to make the mistakes, but they also defended brilliantly well. Here we see the graphics of the set of contact for Bruno. That little green section of 32%, and that's where he's been able to find Flavio in the middle, where he's brought Lucas in. But we know Bruno is capable of finding those attacks as soon as he gets onto that 3-metre line. Only a couple outside in that position, but they will be looking just to improve that slightly. And when you've got Bruno playing the way he does, he can find the sets anywhere. Here we see the set of contact for Cuba. Now, not so much there, which is why Simon has had only a few of the attacks. He's only got 2 kill attacks, but pretty much when he gets those attacks, he's there. But the ball's not in the centre enough for him. We don't have that option. But that's why then the distribution is going wider to the left and right hand side. Herrera hitting the outside position with 5 kills to his name. And then you got Megarajo with 5 kills on the left-hand side of the court. And you mentioned at the start of this set, the game, about the power of Wallace coming back in retirement, and Herrera, the powerful left-handed man. Well, there's Herrera there, 5 5 attacks, but also those 2 ace serves that were fundamental, I think, in bringing Cuba's momentum back into that game.
Yeah, Wallacey back in the team of 6 attacks there. It's made 1 block. I mean, quite a player to call upon if you are struggling in that department, as Renan was for Brazil. They've had their injury worries at opposite, and 3 opposites in the squad here that they brought for these world champs. Normally 2, isn't it?
Yeah, while Wallacey wasn't there for the VNL, Darlan was coming in, the youngster, who was going to be a great partner in this opposite position for Brazil. The youngster plays very similarly to Wallacey. Brutal power. We're getting ready now for set number 2. It's going to be Flavio who gets us underway.
Yeah, set 2. Cuba having taken an epic first set there, and just working the ball to Marlon Yant, who's come in, a 2-meter plus hitter on the wing side here. A player from Lubei. He's actually had his injury worries this summer. He had a knee complaint that sort of made his participation in the Challenger Cup series somewhat less than it could have been had he been firing on all cylinders. And they have some real firepower themselves as well, the Cubans. All the talk of Wallacey and Lucarelli and Yoandi Leao. 1-1 here, set 2. The backslide for the crunch. A big power behind that swing from Jesus Herrera. 2-1.
Taboada, the only change from the first set for Cuba as the setter. He settled into his role there. And that ball does come into that position. He does take it a slightly higher point in his hands.
So Livena Soria with the serve. Short serve as well. They play it down the pipe. That's power from Leal, 2-2.
Leao was onto that. If you watch the set here, it's really low and flat, which is what you want from that pipe attack. But with Lucas coming into Bruno, it just distracts him on a little bit. He's not quite sure which way to go.
Cuba back set it. It's going to be Bruno picking up. Just gets his approach wrong though, and Cuba in no mood to pass up that overpass. Feed it finally to Lopez, wing side, 3-2 there. At the start of the second set in Ljubljana.
Talas took the first ball really well, but that second one just got the deflection as well, so just sticks out the left hand to try and connect to it.
Serve comes short, 2 in the air. Oh, cheeky. Wallacey. Now that decoy player in the middle of them, Wallacey, just taps it down the side. Nice one.
Lopez was already set on the block, and Wallacey just wait a fraction of a second, let the ball drift past him, and then just able to tip it in.
And Lucas just with that service line fault there, by the looks of things. Uncharacteristic. Ball 3 Cuba. Lopez. Textbook. Leao with the finish. Nice transition. And a smooth piece of spiking there from Yoandi Leao.
Again, nice work from Bruno, but great from Flavio to draw the block from Simone and get that one-on-one option. So while the middles don't always get the action on the attacks, that's a really important thing for them to keep doing as well.
4-4, Wallacey on serve. Quick rally. Good reception, and then transition from Cuba.
Taboada just has a quick look to see where Simon is. Knows he's got his opposite Herrera in there.
Set to the middle, that's an important pickup. That gives Cuba the advantage in this rally. Oh, Brazil somehow have kept the ball off the floor, but here come Cuba again. Brazil blocking again. So Cuba once more playing through the middle and hitting that at Flavio. He can't return it.
Cuba are almost like the big bad wolf, aren't they? They'll often blow your block down. It's just gone through so many actions there. The coach even got shifted out of his courtside position so Herrera could have his run up.
Scrambling, but not quite able to prevent the floor touch.
Wallace just opening his shoulder up cross court. Here we see the replay. One-on-one. Taboada could just get there, but again, when it's only a one-on-one block, when you're defending that cross-court position, the court just opens up and it gets even bigger when you're alone defending.
Six.
So change of set there for Taboada. A little bit higher for Yant, who's come on.
Clean out there, and Yoandi Leao will have another serve. It's a world champ's birthday as well. That Leao turns 34. Does Yoandi Leao next Wednesday. Just caught the net on the way through. The ball skids away and out. 7-6 Cuba. Herrera, another service fault from the opposite back line.
Never got his hand over that ball.
Set 2, 7-7. Speed of the approach there from Lopez, really giving it full throttle.
Lopez coming in from the back line. Captain having to almost duck as he was doing the middle attack. Didn't want to get anywhere near Lopez on the attack.
Yant. So strong to the middle. That's Wallasey wiping out off the blocker. 8-8.
And you see, it's almost like Wallace, his face like he's going to go cross court, but he turns his hand and force it down the line to get the outside of the block.
Short float on the serve there from Bruno. Oh, well, they got the desired effect. You had Cuba scrambling and panicking, and unable to feed the ball out to opposite side and make an attacking play. Clever serve.
Yeah, snatch from Taboada on the dig set.
Sit up a bit, goes a bit heavier at that time. Bruno.
It's wide.
Miss. They're going to challenge here.
From our angle, that looked wide to start with. Lopez was coming in, trying to manipulate an angle across the net. Oh, Hawkeye will give us a decision there. But yeah. When it's lower and flatter, it looks like the ball's kind of skidding across as well, so that's caught it, so which is why it's quite a, especially with the referee who's looking down at the ball, it's quite a challenge to see when it has connected there, so, and that's the whole purpose of Hawkeye. We get those decisions correct.
Livada Soria. Love that play, nice and smooth into Lucas, who was moving forward. Great understanding there between setter and hitter. That forward motion in the set, just laying it on a plate there for Lucas. 10-9. Set wasn't good, they had to improvise the ball over the net. And, that's a mistake though. The follow-up attack from Yoandi Leao and Brazil.
Leo's is challenging actually what he thought was wrong. The ball was tight on the net. He tried to play the tip over, but he's landed outside the court. But the referee has said that he has touched the net as well. He's insisting he has. But he's like, my foot wasn't on the line, so there's going to be a challenge. Now it's going to be interesting to see if they do a challenge for net touch or for the foot. He's forced out wide, so he obviously can't touch outside the antenna. He's reached with his hands up, ball drifted over, trying to bring it back into play. It's then on the follow through, he's gone round. There you go, quite clearly. He thought he was out of play. Has to be the whole foot over the line. Well, that was quite clearly the whole foot and a half pretty much over the line.
Again, it's a whole foot over that centre line, isn't it? You can have your foot on the line.
If you lift up on your toe, for example, then it's over.
Yeah.
Lay out him in, make it nice and easy there for the video challenge referees.
Well, same angle of approach. They go to the same side.
Actually, layouts.
Another miss.
He's gone to Dalzotto, insisting he's there, but the Brazilian coaching team aren't having any of that. He's like, no, we're not wasting another challenge. You did that last time you got your foot under.
Taboada serves, 11-10 here. You will lead by a point and by a set.
Garcia with a flamboyant effort to the front of the camera there. The way Bruno manipulates the ball with that one hand, just puts it up nice on the platter for Wallace to put it away.
Lucas. Nope. Brazil yet to find any kind of rhythm in this second set thus far. Lopez next to serve here for Cuba. Big pickup, set needs to be good, hitting way off the net. And that gives the blocking team the opportunity, and they'll be disappointed they haven't made the block there.
Yeah, Simon frustrated.
Come back, landed out.
I mean, Lopez has such height on that topspin serve. But you see them, Simon's already edged it across, isn't he? Come on, Herrera, get to position, please. But as soon as he's done that, you can just see him facing out of court, which the momentum of the ball, that's easy for me to say, goes with him.
Love that contact. Just the merest dab over the block there from Simon.
We talk about him being all about power. Well, this is such... I mean, it's such a high set from Taboada over to him. But there's literally the fingertip that he's got taped up. Right in the middle of that trio of Wallace, Luca Ralli and Bruno.
It was that finger injury that ruled him out of the Challenger Cup series. They did perfectly well without him. Great win that, the three-match series in Korea, wasn't it? The Men's Challenger Cup, basically a qualifying tournament for next year's VNL. You have won another gold medal since then as well, at the Pan Am Cup of Cuba. Well, rolls across, drops out, not what Brazil wanted. Really tight set this. (14-13). The Central Americans, about to say lead. Scratch that out. We're all square thanks to the service fault. Again, hitting from that far off the net. Always a problem for the player who's attacking. Trying to find the angle for a winning play and beating the block as well. Often you just make an error, try and wave it down the side. Went wide. Cuba with a 2-point lead that's opened up now here in set 2. Now they're hitting off the net. It's a roll over the top from Lopez. Brazil haven't put the ball down on the floor. And the one-handed set, which comes back to wing side. And Lopez makes the most of it.
It was a scrappy one to start with. Lucas was all over the place. Taboada tried that second ball, but as soon as that came up then, on that second attempt, that one-handed set out wide, it's meant one-on-one, and you knew Cuba were going to take the point there with Lopez.
(17-14). Cuba with this advantage, set 2. That was an important swing. Wallasey makes the shot. Containment on that block, the first point of contact there for Brazil. And then the diagonal from Lucarelli misses its mark. Cuba looking really good and strong now.
They're forcing the errors from Brazil here. So captain's just been called over to the referee. Yeah, with 3 points deficit here.
High set, oh, that rolls out across the net cord. Well, Wallasey was the option. Instead, they switched it through the middle to Lucas. It's a nervy one, but at least it was a winning point there for Brazil. So misses it, doesn't he? As does Robert Landy Simon, suitably distracted. The ball just carries over, drops down. Brazil back on serve, down by 2 here in the second set. Big swing that misses from Herrera. He went to the opposite corner. Got the margins wrong there. And Brazil have shut down the deficit to 1 point here with Ricardo Lucarelli serving. Another mistake. They all add up, don't they? Now it's Cuba leading by 2 again. Taboada.
Trying to force that float serve really deep. Unfortunately, with a float serve, you've got to put the pressure on the angles or right on the baseline, otherwise it's just too easy pickings.
Lucas serves clean down the middle. They get that transition right. Work the attacking chance and then spike down the middle. Just can't keep the foot on Brazilian throats with that serve. Lopez goes huge from the serve line.
Such a high toss to get the feed just right. Just even a little millimetre too far forward, and he's not able to get his hand over it.
Lovely angle on that. Really clean hit across again, that time from Marlon Yant. The wing side beats the block. 21-19 now for Cuba in the second set. Simon draws tallies forward to pick up that serve. Here come Cuba again. Brazil contained with the block. Then the backslide, and the shot is missed by Wallacey. Looking good for Cuba now in this set. Lead of 3, a need of 3 to move into a 2-0 lead.
Ei, correspondente deles, sempre embaixo. Então os defensivos é alto, bem o miolo da quadra e o cara correspondente lá de fora. Então não adianta vir com largada atrás. Lá em cima ou de fora. Bora. Let's go, fast!
Clean miss by Wallacey. Brazil are rattled here in Ljubljana on the opening morning of the World Champs. That is a man under pressure. Simon on serve.
What
Listen
a time to
roars echoing around the arena.
He's guided it back into the open court.
Herrera with the contact, the monster block music booms round area Stojic, and just to upset the rhythm of Robert Landy Simon, Renan Del Zotto calls a timeout here for Brazil.
Rodada de bola agora fundamental, vai bem na entrada aqui, vai estar cada um, tá? Eles vão queimar na primeira com passe bom, tranquilidade para angular bem, beleza?
Volta a bola, vamos construir,
Bora, break!
volta a bola, vamos construir.
Simon serving to the line, Brazil attacking down the middle, working their transition right. Quality of reception and that set just allows Lucarelli to use Flavio as the decoy and then pulverise the shot. Now it's Cuba who disrupt Brazil by calling this tactical timeout.
Tranquilo la recepción con complejo. Pasa a los extremos. Pero bloqueo inteligente en el ataque, muchachos. Ok. Salimos de este sacador. Ok. Por lo demás, estamos bien. Seguimos fajados defendiendo en el primer tiempo. Ok. Vamos ya.
It's 23-20 Cuba. A former international star, Yoandi Leal, serves next for Brazil. At a backslide, the quality of the spike, is right up there from Jesus Herrera, who has had a fantastic match. Blocks slow to close up. Flavio trying to support Lucarelli, but leaving that seam ultimately. And now it is 4 set points for Cuba. This for a 2-0 lead. Herrera furious that He's given up the serve. It's 24-21. But still a ton of work to do here for Brazil to announce themselves. And well, now we've got a switch around. This is Felipe Roque, the up-and-coming opposite, one of the three opposites on the roster here. Minimum requirement by getting that serve in. And then a touch comes through on that Cuban swing from Marlon Yant. And it is Cuba who have a 2-0 lead here on Brazil. The two-time silver medalists, the team that have been in the last 5 World Championship finals. The team that haven't lost an opening match since 1970 at the Worlds. They are in real trouble, Renan Del Zotto's team here on the opening morning of the 2022 World Champs. They trail Cuba by 2-0. The story of that second set. So out attacking, out blocking. Although Brazil got their first ace on the board in that second set. Cuba just had enough. So after that wobble midway through that opening set, Cuba have found their rhythm and they've just stuck with it. Haven't suffered a dip since then. Well, their hitters are finding their marks and the block as well. Simon and Osorio doing what's required in containment as much as anything else. And great to see the Cuban representation in the arena here in Ljubljana. Actually outnumbering their Brazilian counterparts in terms of partisan support here in the Slovenian capital.
Coach, what a first 2 sets that has been. Are you happy with the power and the performance of your teams?
And I do think we're about to hear from both coaches here ahead of the third set. First up, Nicolas Vives, the Cuban coach.
The change of Taboada as setter has made a massive input into the way that you're playing. Well, more of the same in the final set. Good luck.
Nicolas Vives, Coffini there. Nice to hear from him here, obviously in the zone. But as Mark mentioned there, just subbing in Taboada for Guida to put pressure on the Brazil service reception has been one of the, well, the little turnabouts here that have worked in Cuba's favour. Huge upset on the cards.
So, Coach, the first 2 sets maybe not have gone your way. What tactically do you need to change in this game?
In questo terzo set dobbiamo proprio mettere tutto in battuta perché loro stanno girando bene nell'attacco e noi dobbiamo essere più tranquilli, no? Perché il primo set abbiamo cominciato molto bene, poi la prima volta che eravamo in difficoltà siamo andati. Allora per cui il terzo set è molto importante cominciare bene dall'inizio.
We start very well the match, but the service was very good and we didn't could control it. And now we have to start better than the third set to change the match.
Okay, back to you, Andy. Now we hear from Brazil. Thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, nice to hear from Nicolas Vives, Govini and Renan Del Zotto there at the end of the second set. Another set won by Cuba, 25-21 after 33-31 in that opening set in favour of the Cubans. So they're just one set away here from a famous opening day win, not just opening day, opening match here of these 2022 World Champs. Arena Stojice here in Ljubljana, hosting 4 first phase pools. The other 2 in the first rounds, they're being played in Poland. And laying down a marker here for the other teams at these 2022 Worlds. So off 8 attacks, a couple of blocks there. There's Herrera, the Perugia player, and Wallacey. Well, he's not quite had the impact that he would have wanted. The same for Brazil, writ large here. The player just drawn out of international retirement to make Brazil competitive or find that developmental edge of competitiveness here that will hopefully, as far as Renan Del Zotto is concerned, be sufficient this time round, but it's a huge task on here. And to get on the board in this match. So a long way to victory here on opening day. 2 sets down to a rampant Cuba. We knew they'd had a great summer, but we didn't know quite how they would fare. They're stepping up to the elite level, and with this tough first phase pool against Japan and Qatar, and firstly here Brazil, but 2 sets up. We're into set 3, although Brazil win the opening point. Lucas from Volley Renata. Have 8 players of the 14 nominated in the party for these World Champs who play at home in Brazil. There's a scurry over the top there and an overpass. Brazil will come again here. Fernando, by the way, has been switched in. Fernando Kreiling is coming for Bruno Rezende. So they look to a different figure to run the offense now in Fernando, wearing 14. And it's a decent enough start here to set 3 from Brazil.
Yeah, it's going to be a big change with Fernando coming on. New set of hands.
Lucas. Funny, isn't it, how just the momentum switches and all of a sudden it's Cuba who can't get a point. 3-0. A really strong start, the response that Renan Del Zotto would have wanted to see from his team here at the start of set 3. Lucas with ball in hand once again at the serve line. Coming at the libero, nice and tidy. A quick play into Asoria, who gets the ball down sharpish. Cuba on the board in set 3.
Good captain's point as well, leading from example. Really nice, high chest, not leaning into it. Shoulder over the ball.
Asoria, one of the few survivors in this group from the 2016 Olympic team for Cuba. We played in the 2018 Worlds as well, when they had a very disappointing run out at those World Champs. We played across Italy and Bulgaria last time out. To Cuba. Here's Wallacey. 4-1 Brazil, set 3. Serve strong down the middle. And Brazil with high hands make that block, slamming that door on Herrera. 5-1. Brazil showing every sign of coming alive here. Great follow of the angle of attack there from Flavio. So Wallacey crashes the serve into the net that time. Cuba with the ball in hand, trailing at the start of this set. Livan Taboada. Man, he's had a big impact on this match. Next to serve, catches the net, dumped over a dead weight. Brazil need to pick up the tempo. Cuba have picked up in backcourt. It's Herrera who's into the block, and once again from that side, Brazil shut down Herrera.
Well, it's a perfect response that Dalzotto wanted. The challenge of being 2 up as well. And changes being made. Brazil don't know when to quit.
(6-2). Booming serve. Slapped off the block. It careers to the right-hand side of the court. Brazil pick it up. Once again, they score off that Cuban block. 7-2. Well, they're all over the Brazil attack, but it's just not happening for Cuba in the defense right now at the start of this set. Brazil have to harness all of this positive energy. They've built up this 5-point lead. Then again, that's an advantage they had in set 1, and look what happened thereafter. Acing with Cuba's former favourite, Leal. Now bringing it for Brazil. Oh, look at that. Beautiful swerve. And then it's pitched almost perfectly in front of that baseline. Cuba, no option here but to call a timeout.
Pasa para 4, empatamos. La otra vez, la situación de contraataque, hay que apoyar, hay que ser efectivo. Iván, el saque tiene que ser más agresivo. No podemos estar sacando los saques flote y eso, que son unos globos porque son 4 contra 3. Lo he explicado, hay que seguir jugando con agresividad.
Coach was saying he was happy because they were winning. Changing the body language, changing the tonality of his voice here now. Sometimes you see a team, we're going to go 2 up, we've got to continue that work level, but sometimes the results just don't go the way. In the first few run of points there, that's what's going to Brazil. They've got the advantage here, but they have been 5 and 6 up in the first set, remember? And then those couple of aces come in, but momentum is now with Brazil.
Yep, 8-2. Leal's serve is in play. That's a kind of push tip. Terribly out of rhythm there, the Cubans. No doubt about it, momentum's completely changed here. 7-point lead for Brazil in set 3. Leal's serve is doing the business here for Brazil. Again, it's in play. Crunches that at Garcia. Huge power into that block.
Right off the head. See one back again. Lopez just takes that little step to the right.
Lopez next to serve as well. Comes short, forces the overpass. Simon is going to destroy overpasses like that for breakfast every day of the week.
That was his best set that he's received today. Unfortunately, as much as hard as Fernando's going to block against Simon, it's only ever going to go one way, isn't it?
And then Lopez nets. Cuban
Not quite as consistent in their serving this set as well. And we said at the very start of the game, that's where they've got to really put the pressure on. Oh, that's incredible. It's just
again, just to steady them, give it in the airspace of Simon, let him do the rest.
Just watch this. It's always like a super spike competition.
It is. If you voted best middle blocker in a league like the Italian league, as Simon was last season, then you know you're doing something right. Although he's messed up the serve there. So Fernando, he'll be playing in Italy next year. Just signed for Monza. Left Sada Cruzeiro.
Going with a double contact. He's trying to turn his hands were in the right position as well as he's come around the body.
Brazil with this lead of 7 points in the third set. Picked it up, but It's an overpass. Cuba come again, and it was a nice attempt by Tallis, just reaching almost behind him to try and pick up, make it playable. But punching it into Leal, and Brazil can't keep the ball up and off the floor. Herrera. One-handed set. Oh, it's a lovely piece of angled spiking.
He's got away with that one, that ball spinning out the hand. Referee happy with it. And Lucas reads it. Just that drift, Lucas does take him past the Cuban captain, and able to attack down his left-hand side.
Oh, backslide. Herrera missiles that. Plenty of seam in that block there. Big Cuban serve, oh, the up and down, almost vertical from Lucas there.
Quite rightly gets the round of applause from the bench. Lovely set.
Well, credit Renan Del Zotto, he switched the setters around, changed the complexion of this contest now. Set needs to be good. Look how far he is off the net there, hitting Herrera. It's always going to be advantage with the blocking team there. And Brazil will be happy enough. They roll on and add another point.
There was only one place that was always going to go. So the three-man block got themselves set in position. We know Herrera is targeting more on the cross-court position.
Now then, this is the veteran Michael Sanchez switched in. There's now Cuba needing to make adjustments, but Brazil add another point. Lead is 9 now. That's a double-digit lead. Gutierrez Suarez for Lopez. Changing the hitter. Service fault.
Lucas still not playing within himself. You can see the ankle strapping on the right foot. He's a little bit more success at the net, but at the service line, he hasn't quite found his rhythm yet.
Cuba's captain, Livan Osoria, not with a captain serve.
It's their 13th error of the game so far. And in this set, they're almost trying to find the magical serve.
Wallacey. Back set, and well, that's a first point in the contest for Michael Sanchez Borja-Leyva. He's the veteran player in the squad. Sidelined a little of late, pretty much the backup to Herrera these days. Actually used him at middle blocker during the Challenger Cup series.
Yeah, trying to force that ball from the one position all the way across. He best have made the change, bringing Gordy back on at the start of this third set. More a case now for Cuba just to start picking up 1 or 2 points on their service rotations. Not going to do it with serves like that, unfortunately. 6 required for Brazil. Flavio back to serve. This is obviously game 1 of the championships here in Slovenia. A warm welcome to all those watching on Volleyball World.tv. No matter where you are around the world, whatever you're watching on, we hope you're enjoying the coverage of the World Championships, both here in Slovenia and also in Poland. This week, the men get underway.
Brazil leading 19-11 in the third set. A flat set across the middle. Oh, that seemed too easy for Fernando to just parry that down and into the court. Cuba's level has dropped right off.
Well, Jan went across to his left-hand side, went too far. The middle of the court opened up easy for Fernando. He's added value from the serve as well.
Picked up in play. That's clever from Sanchez. Rolling off the block there. So much work for Cuba to do, though, in this set. Just off the outside there of Rodriguinho. There's the backup spiker, really, to the first. The choices, Lucarelli and Yoandi Leao. Brazil are putting in a challenge here.
So it's a block challenge. Had one of these in the first set with Wallace playing the ball off the block and out of play. This time Brazil believe that Cuba were the last hands on the ball. All eyes on the screen. Just out of your picture, above the centre of the court, there's four-way monitor. You see the hands of Sanchez. Off the hands of Leao and out of play.
So Michael Sanchez then with the serve. Sent to Talis. They block and make it as well. Javier Concepcion.
Lovely finish.
Sanchez again, we're in play. Once again at Talis, well played. Real speed of approach there. And then the shot to match. Leao. No, those three blockers split. Leao just has a choice of the direction he's going to hit out there.
Sanchez split in the block. Finds it between the seam. There was also net touch from Leao. Previous point, really clever from Fernando, knowing he had two attackers behind him to draw the plot. There we see. Lucas hasn't quite got the movement at the minute to get all the way across, especially when he's holding that middle position to start with.
Gap is 7 here in this third set. There's Wallace, lifts himself up alongside Herrera now.
It's that little tandem movement as well, with Lucas coming in with Wallace to his right-hand side. The blocker's going, how far is that set going to go? Is Lucas going to take it or not? Which then does mean it's almost a one-on-one when that gap opens up for him.
Wallace 15 points, Herrera 15 points. Lucas aces for Brazil. Now then, they're going to win this set, aren't they? Can they carry it through into set 4 and take us to a decider? They have absolutely ripped through Cuba, staring down the barrel at a pretty humiliating opening day performance here. But here they are, needing just 2 more points to take a rather one-sided third set. I just saw that backcourt player, Fernando, scrambling forward. He almost overruns it and can't make the pick up.
Credit to Suarez there, having to adapt that ball, just being a little bit too wide for him. At full stretch, just ready to bring the ball around the block and inside. And as soon as he's done that, where the defence has already set themselves, it's really hard for them to adjust.
Quick set off Simon. Just drifts out of bounds, and that means that Brazil have all these set points in hand now. They're at 24-15. Plenty of wriggle room here to get over the line and take us into a fourth set. Wellesi to serve.
Roque coming on as a blocking sub for Fernando, just to add a little bit more height.
All the sting taken out of the serve because it caught that tape across the top of the net. Eventually move it into Simon to do what's required.
Simon shaping this ball to his left-hand side beautifully. He's got across the right quite a few times, but he just waited a little bit, just turned the shoulder, snapped the wrist around the right-hand side of the ball. It's coming inside the block of Flavio.
Back set, Wellesi comes in, and that's the point that makes him the top scorer in the contest and takes us into a fourth set. Well, Brazil really needed that. A display of quality, perhaps capitalising on a little bit of a dip in Cuba's level after the dominance of those opening two sets. But we have a real contest on now as we move into a fourth set.
There's been a challenge of how do Cuba come back from that now? What's their mindset like? What's their capabilities? They've come through the Challenge Cup and the Pan Am Cup, and they've come up with some good results. They haven't taken on the number 2 seed in the world in that time. They haven't played Brazil since 2010. Now they made changes back, but they changed the setter back up, so the starting setter came back on and Taboada left, and that was a change actually in the game that gave Cuba the position of being 2 sets up. After that 33-31 set at the very start. There's errors that were rectified from Brazil in that third set. So see the stats there, 4 blocks, 2 serves as well. And look at that, 11 attacks, but also it was the error count. When we look at the error count for Cuba coming into that deciding set, that third set. Just from the service point of view, they gave so many serves away, 7 service errors in that third set. And that's giving Brazil 7 free points in your game. They don't need that as a head start, do they? There we see the stats for Leal. 10 attacks, 2 blocks, 1 serve. He's received a lot better. He's only had to have a couple of balls received. Tales has been almost his talisman by the side, protecting him. There's Lopez Castro, a big, powerful attacker for Cuba. Such a high leap, high hitting angle on both his serve and his attack.
Well, the other thing here, whatever happens from here on in, it's great to see Cuba back as a force.
Oh, incredible. They're one of those ones who said at the very start of this, they're like the dark horse when it comes to Olympics, etc., to get to that level. And whatever restrictions have been put upon them now, to see them back at this level, see them in the VNL next year, regularly competing. And those first 2 sets show you exactly what and how they can play when they play.
Yeah, from a team that made the World Champs final as recently as 2010. They had a really poor couple of tournaments, 2014 and 2018. Had problems in the country, players sort of leaving to find fame and fortune and build their reputations elsewhere. Switch of nationalities, but they are back. And what a match to open up these world champs here on opening morning in Ljubljana, Slovenia. We're in Pool B. Cuba lead Brazil by 2-1. The three-time world champions are on the march, having won that third set. And on serve first, quick transfer of power to Melgarejo. And it's Cuba on the board first here in set 4.
Well, Vives wanted a response after that third set, didn't he? And what a line shot that was. Almost thread that attack down the needle down the left-hand side.
Same player on serve, part of the 2016 Olympic team. He was there in the 2018 Worlds as well. But that serve is turned over. 1-1. Lucas now. Picked it up. They're going to be hitting way off the net. Brazil in charge here. Great block there from Cuba. Oh, super anticipation. And the direction there of the defensive contact, angling the ball back in court. The monster of a block, this.
It's the response from Cuba and the body language, the positivity now. Even Simon come off the bench, pumped up, ready.
Ivan Osoria with the serve here. Quick middle, Cuba block it again. They're trying to get past Simon there. They eventually do, and they feed it wing side to Yoandi Leal. 2-2.
Cetra Bruno. Nico Rallies still on the bench. Lopez just coming over the block. Oh, Fernando there. There's always going to be a mismatch there, the height of what Lopez hits at.
Lovely angle on that. Tallis knows where it's going. And picking it up, it's another matter entirely. And Brazil with that backslide. Cuba have reignited here in set 4.
Ball for Wallace there. A little bit tight, wasn't it? You see him reaching for it. Hitting the ball out in front of him.
And the one-on-one, it's the defender who wins it. Pick up, Fernando gives it to Wallace again. There's enough power in that. There's just enough run-off room to keep the attack going as far as Cuba are concerned. Then Brazil attacking down the pipe. That's Garcia with the pickup. And that's stuff which Brazil win. Leal to spike off the top of high blocking hands. Brazil win the point.
Good chase down from Cuba early on that rally. Making it out to Leal. There was a net touch as well from Simone, but it went off the hands of Herrera. That three-man block. They're back within one.
4-3 Cuba. Brazil on serve though. Oh, a missile.
For Lopez, it was to his right-hand side. It's one of those ones that, is it in, is it out? The way he's moving, was to see him hit this ball 121 kilometers an hour. Yeah, that was going to drop in. The top spin coming round. That one not quite so.
The adrenaline's pumping after a serve like that. Try and pull it off again. We saw that way back in set 1, didn't we? Was it Melgarejo? A couple of aces in a row. Went big for the third.
That's Herrera, yeah.
Herrera.
Correct.
Five. Set 4. Cuba lead 2-1. Simon with that little tap. Brazil missed the chance to kill the point. And it's Mergarejo who comes in. Roll from open hands there by Rodriguinho. We're still in play. Set needs to be good here. Oh, what a switch around. That's a great piece of improvisation from Herrera.
The reach he had on that one. It's like go-go gadget arm. His arm just extended. It sets out wide.
That's disguising the kill as well. I think he's going to bump it full of power. Instead, he kills them softly. 6-5 Cuba. Down the middle. Cuba will make that block, but there's been an infringement.
Lucas there.
You don't know
Might not
what
speak
you
to you
did,
and say, well,
exactly.
but there you go, that's what you did.
You're in any doubt, this is what you did.
So Leo's coming in with a big pipe attack. The referee's called it. The second referee's called it really early on. The players now have to move out the court just to be able to see on the screen.
Took charge after the Rio Olympics, the victorious Rio Olympics in 2016. Did Renan Del Zotto. Yeah, there's a rattle of the net. Right call.
Lucas is right in place as well, so he was quite rightly able to show you. Yeah, actually, you did touch the net, so he was right with that one.
So Fernando Greling coming for Bruno, continuing as the setter here. A bit out of system in this rally. Done well to hustle it. Walasi, again, just pushing into that block, making sure power came down. Good point that for Brazil. Cuba with safety in numbers, but couldn't return the ball back over. 7-6. Again, super pickup that by Fernando. Off the spike from Mergarejo. Brazil coming again, Walasi. Punches to the corner, 8-6.
Who needs 3 touches? The ball's on the net, it's open. Walasi puts that ball deep. Good take from Tales on the defense.
Fernando serves short. Herrera gets high, but again it's Fernando backcourt with that pickup. Oh, Brazil rocking and rolling now. 4th set, they go 9-6.
Del Zotto animated on the sidelines. That ball hit high and hard on the hands. Gets the touch, let's have a listen to him.
Porque 2 veces para 4, 2 veces para 2. Vamos a usar las 3 que son efectivos. Pero si no por las 6, pues hay que atacar, muchachos, nos metemos. Un poco más de tranquilidad. Bien. Estamos quedando con un solo bloqueo. Vamos a atacar mejor, ¿ok? Vamos a atacar mejor, hay que atacar mejor. Dale. Equipo.
So Cuba down by 3, led early on the stages in this 4th set.
Brazil block. Cuba come again. Brazil block again. Thank you very much. 10-6. Wallasey that time. Comes to the outside. Lucas gets across just to try and give him a bit of support. Not needed.
Vivas back to Taboada, setting Yant back on again.
Yep. Melgarejo is the attacker switched out. There's an immediate impact as Cuba win the following point. 10-7 now, set 4. Jesus Herrera, 16 points in the match. Serve is in play. It's Wallasey again. Cuba throw it back. Wallasey, Cuba blocking for the second time. They play to the middle, but Cuba still have it in play. No floor touch. Pancake there from Fernando. Cuba once again, is this the moment? No, it's not, because Brazil can contain in the block. Fernando to wing side, Wallasey, again there's a pick up. Oh, there's a block finally to close down Marlon Yant, 11-7.
Wow, who was going to win that point? Wallasey going without the power, just crossed the ball. Little quick reactions at the net. Even when Cuba had the free ball, they couldn't put it away. Now you see that little step across on the block before he made the leap. Got himself in that right position, that right arm, really closing in.
Rodriguinho. Good pick up. Sets off the net. Brazil have found their blocking A-game here. Then he tries to go high there, Yant, to beat the block. Well, he's got a block touch. 11-8.
Ball putting high for him. Able to, from Garcia, able just to put the ball into the hands of the block and out of play.
Alan Gorgay in now for Garcia. In terms of the Cuban liberos. Has missed. Oh, he's very animated, isn't he, Leal? Every time he feels a decision goes against him. He's immediately wanted the challenge system to be engaged after that.
Now, no Cuban player has admitted up to the touch, so it is going to go to a challenge. Leal's just having a quick chat with the captain. And then it has been given as touch.
That's why Leal was so animated.
He's not wrong often, is he?
Lucas.
Oh,
Back set, block, Leal again.
Game changer. One-on-one. Herrera's replaced by Sanchez. As we see that monster block. Perfect in slow motion, makes it look so easy.
Oof, Lucio. Serve eventually in play. Big high set. And
not quite the football skills of his Brazilian counterparts there, Lucas.
Too much to do finally for Brazil in that rally to keep it going. Fernando set maybe a little bit too heavy and hard in front of Leal. Oh, the block rolls over the top, everyone bunched forward. And Brazil catch a break there.
It's that slow anticipation of seeing where that ball is going to go off the block into the deep court, but just wide. Taboada just with the diagonal arms, so he's changed his position from taking the line to go cross court.
Wallasey, 19 points in the match. He's ripped one down the middle. First ace of the match for Wallasey. He joins the club. Perfection. Not that time.
Changed it up for the slightly flatter float serve. A 5-point deficit. Dalzotto too frustrated after following up from the ace.
Levin Taboada next to serve here. Cuba 5 down in the 4th set. Quick up and down, makes it look so easy when you can receive a serve like that, push it through the setter, and then get the blocker to kill it stone dead.
See the highlights, the height of Flavio, that full stretch. And also, because he's so far off the net, you can see where the block is, can actually shape his attack down either the left or the right-hand side of the block.
So well defended, but been forced into an overpass here, Cuba. And that's bounced back. Tallies tries to scurry across and pick it up, unable to do so. 16-11.
Simon just marshalling his team back into position. Not even animated, just getting on with it, do what he does. Next point, please.
Miguel Angel Lopez Castro. Eight medals with the national team for Lopez. Oh. Wow. Wow.
That ball had gone past both Leal and Tallis before they even knew it. They looked at each other.
Just let's see the replay here when the ball lands, because there are sparks coming off this.
It's shaping away from Tallis with the angle and the momentum of the ball. Leal just, it's too quick for him.
And again, the height of that toss as well. Forced into the overpass. Oh! Cuba back with their marching boots on here.
Well, they were 5 down.
16-13.
They were 5 down before, and it was Herrera on the service. Now it's Lopez with that high swing. It was hard for Simon as well, because he still had to kill it. The ball's going over, high over the net. The blocker's getting in place.
Vamos. Perfeito, ok, só segurar, tá? Leal, deixa a tua direita. Rodrigo, deixa a tua esquerda. Vamos só amortecer ela, tá? Bolas altas, com duplo ou triplo, mão de fora, ou no terceiro homem, tá bom? Vambora, tá? Vai.
The Cuban contingent in the Slovenian capital is present and correct and enjoying what's happening here. Cuba still have this lead in the match, if not this set. Brazil chalk another up. It's gone 17-13 now.
I see Wallace turning into to receiving duties as well next to Leal. Service sub comes on, Flavio off. Roque, the big number 21, he's been used for a couple of blocking substitutes for both Bruno and Fernando. Wow.
Wow, what about that? It's not always about power, is it, from the serve line?
That floats there, causing confusions for Lopez on the defense. Never got himself underneath it. Just gave a pinball then, as soon as it came to Simon. He knew that was the 4th touch.
Simon just about feathers it over the net. And that's a bullet down the line from Wallace. What a player to just put in a call to if you're struggling in that position, drawing him out of retirement. Here he is. Straight back in at the deep end, opening day of the World Champs. 22 points in the contest now, he's the top scorer. A couple ahead of Leal.
Haz un punto a Miguel, pero saque bien. Saque esa situación, insisto, no, tienes el pasado de aquí, en la 4, mete a Simón para acá y vuelve a pasar para la 4. ¿Por qué te complicas la recepción por la 3 cuando el tipo saca bien? Esos son los detalles. Vamos, que jugar con la cabeza. Vamos, que pensar en lo que hacemos. Dale, lo hacemos, vale, malo.
It's going to be a tough one to call if this goes to 5 sets. But what a way to open up the world champs here. This has been a barnstormer of a contest. They've been playing at the world champs, Brazil and Cuba, ever since 1956. This is the 13th meeting. There have been 6 victories apiece. Service fault. Simon next to serve. Be annoyed with himself there. So next to serve in the rotation for Brazil is Fernando, who hasn't missed a beat since coming in for Bruno. Brazil send the block back. Oh, where's the overpass? Lucas just shapes to play it, then leaves it. 21-14.
Cuba just starting to snatch at the game. See the body language has dropped again. Those boys in blue.
Back set, Brazil block, everything just crumbling their way at the moment.
Lucas read it well, got himself across. We said in the previous sets he's not managed to move across, but the middle option was easy to read where that set had gone. Fernando just having a quick look.
Sanchez with the serve, big serve as well. So the reception just carried the ball up and high and gave Yant the free ball.
Fernando doing what he can to distract him as he's a backcourt player, so he couldn't block it anyway. Yeah, even just that little distraction.
Sanchez again. Into the middle. Better pick up this time. They've got in system and work it to Rodriguinho, who hits down the side. The player who was the first choice hitter when Lucarelli wasn't there at the first few match days in the VNL at home in Brasilia. Rodriguinho and Adriano was the wing spiking partnership in that Brasilia leg of the VNL.
Nice set, good play from Sanchez.
Yep. Back set for the swing, opposite side. Sanchez into the block, wipes out.
Leal delays it as long as he can and goes, yeah, I did touch it, it's okay.
Marlon Yant just off.
That was almost caught off there, almost took the TV camera out. So 24-17 to go to deciding set.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, deciding game. So Lucas has been temperamental with his serve.
It's just how many set points they'll need here, the Brazilians. In play. Cuba setting to the wing. And then across the block and out that time from Miguel Angel Lopez means that we will move into a deciding set here. What a match to open up these world champs. After Cuba took the opening 2 sets, Brazil have been pretty comfortable in the 2 sets since, you have to say. And this fifth set, oh, almost impossible to call, but it's Brazil who have the momentum, no doubt about that.
Well, Brazil playing like we know Brazil can play. They've made the changes, taking Luca Ralli off and also Bruno, and bring those changes on. That's just kind of settled it down a little bit. But not only that, is that Cuba have started to make the errors. Cuba have started to miss their serves, and that has led then in the chance now for Brazil to take this game in the fifth set.
So that's been the story of this contest so far. 33-31 to Cuba in that epic opening set, then 25-21 to the Central Americans in set 2. And then Brazil dug in that third set, took it 25-16 and 25-17 in the fourth. They've worked out their block, and the win over Brazil at a World Championship tournament. They did it in 5 that day. Chance for the big swing. It's landed from Herrera. Cuba off the mark here in set 5. In addition to the gold medal match 2010, these two played for the bronze in 1998. Cuba won that match. Quarter-final in the 94 Worlds, Cuba won that. 1-1 here. Simon just gets that all wrong. Even the best just miscalculate now and again. So great effort there on the pickup by Garcia. It's off that flat. Set by Taboada. Simon goes huge and high over the top. 2-1 Brazil. So Lucas with that big serve. And Cuba get it all wrong. 3-1 Brazil. Textbook. Simon with the up and down, great angle on that as well, just cuts it into the line.
You can watch this one time and time again. He gives himself that space, not too tight to the net, because he knows he needs to be able to swing through the ball. There's a man on a mission.
No sooner do they side out than the serve is given up.
He'll be frustrated with that. He knows he's out of the game now for another 3 rotations. He can't do anything from a defensive point of view, from an attacking point of view to influence this game now.
4-2. Wallacey. Yeah, nice transition. Yant in for the kill. Off the inside of the block. Frustration again, that time it's Herrera. Cuba getting the serve back and then binning it straight away. 5-3. Yoandi Leal now to serve. Oh, they can't wrestle it up again, having made that first defensive contact with the block there, Brazil. Too much power in the spike that comes through.
That combination of the net as well. Oh, good.
Too many touches needed. Once again, Cuba side out, then can't hold the serve.
Really nice play from Flavio. Herrera at the pancake. Nice little skills with the foot.
6-4. 6-5. Service hold absolutely essential.
Flavio walks off frustrated.
Livana Surya. Just can't do it, can they?
It's the challenge in the game. You can't put any easy serves over. They've got to put the pressure on. Fernando been crucial to settling this Brazilian team down.
Improvisation there on the hit from Lopez. Set was a little behind him. He had to do the wrap around. And now Brazil out of system. Cuba punished them. Hit to the middle. Simon gets the ball down on the floor. So once again, Cuba's side out. Once again, the question is, can they keep the serve?
They see Wallace taking that ball behind him, not able to generate the power. Has to go cross court where Simon is waiting for him.
Goide.
Wallace just too strong. That push.
Well, Brazil can keep doing this all day long. Eight, 6. Change of ends in the decider.
With the ball in front of him and the arms outreached in front of him for Wallace, it's a little bit easier on the challenge than when you're blocking. You don't have that body weight behind you as well.
Japan are next up in this pool for Renan Del Zotto and Brazil. Cuba's next opponent's Qatar. It's going to be very interesting to see how Qatar fare here in Slovenia. Now, safe as House's route, just transition it gently into Simon and let him punch down into the floor. Just to get the serve back with Cuba. Isolating that blocker across the middle there in Lucas. And he never misses those, Simon. Oh dear, you feel for them.
If the ball's not right for Lopez, he can't swing hard at it, so he has to adjust. And now he's trying to adjust his ball over. And at 9-7 down.
A hit off the net. Brazil have picked it up.
Well, they didn't get the lift, but they got the double contact from Wallacey there. I see the ball just coming inside. Somehow Leal pulled that away. Might be the sweaty arms of Leal. And a little moist ball for Wallacey to set.
Simon now. No, not enough pressure again on the serve. Brazil turnovers straight away. And with a lead of 2 that they've just kept in this deciding set. A run of having not lost an opening match at a World Champ since 1970 for Brazil. Looks to be safe, but you never know. Here come Cuba. Brazil blocking and then winning the point to now move 3 points clear. They need 4 more points for the win.
Lopez just taking that ball from the block, just took it away from the setter.
4 years ago in Italy, Brazil beat Egypt in straight sets in their opening match. Cuba were defeated by the eventual champions Poland in 4.
Todo el que vaya al saque, a sacar saltando, saque duro con confianza. No me regale más el saque. Todo el que vaya al saque saltando es duro. Prefiero que lo pierdan a fallarlo contra la ley. Agresivo en el saque. Vamos allá.
11-8 in the deciding set between Brazil and Cuba. Wallacey to serve. Big serve as well. So Cuba have picked up. Oh, just arranging the block well enough to nudge it back over.
Fernando with the block there. He's like, just a little tip of the finger there. Watch this one. Oh, it was as well. Directs that beautifully back in. Oh, well, it's going your way. It goes your way.
12-8 now. 22 points in the match for Wallacey. There's the set. They managed to split that block and get the spike through there.
Leal agrees with the referee, the ball was in.
So Cuba still hanging in there. But the signs are with their serve misfiring in this deciding set that they've given themselves a little too much to do and not enough time to do it in. Well, that's a decent start. The libero has to set there. Cuba come again, and that's absolutely pulverized into tallies.
Wow, he's just knocked him for 6.
Good serve. Makes the difference, doesn't it? And
Pressure
they
on
hold.
Pressure on the serve, and that's what Cuba haven't had the last couple of rotations. Herrera. Tala's just on the sidelines, just having a moment, just getting a bit of water and a towel to his head. That's got to have left a ringing in the ears, hasn't it?
Mano, tá sobrando só a minha, velho.
Tá bom, cara. Dá pra sair. Segurar mesmo. Só ligado, galera. Eles estão sob pressão. Ei, eles estão sob pressão. Tá ligado, saque fora. Só isso. Joga bem agachado ali pra segurar.
Dá o ala, coberturas.
Beleza? Tá em dificuldade de jogo, amor.
Cuba have held serve. Jesus Herrera now with another big release down the line, forces the overpass, chance to get within one here for Cuba. They wipe out off the block. What about this?
You can see how Cuba are playing now. They've got, when they play with a smile, their body's more relaxed. They're able to swing through the balls. That one, they know that Janta's got the measure of Fernando. Yes, he's got the one little kill block earlier. But yeah, it's really as a no contest there. Luca Rally comes back on for Leal. This will be more from a serve-receive point of view, just to shore up that defense.
Herrera, can't control it, can't just sort of rein in that adrenaline. Pumps it really heavy beyond the back line. Lead of two, a need of two now for Brazil for the match. Leal.
Leandro looking to come on there, the number 19 as a blocking sub, but Fernando said, no, I can block on this one, it's all right.
Goes at Garcia, the libero picks up. Brazil get high hands, they can't steer the block. Inside the line, it's out of bounds. Cuba's still there, down by a point, serving to get level at the business end of an epic contest.
The position of the block, it was so stacked, but also to the body just facing away. Gutierrez coming on for Lopez. A recognised setter for Cuba. Oh, sorry. Now, I reckon Brazil might challenge this one, I don't know. But that was a great serve. 13-13 from Jant. There is a video challenge, but...
What a time to open the top draw and release
like
something like that. Yeah, Brazil are throwing a challenge in.
It looked like it was going long, but then it just seemed to dip at the end, but...
Just died a death, didn't it, right at the end there. Cuba just in the nick of time of finding a service game. He says, oh, the extra bit of theatre provided by Wine in the Hawkeye tapes back. It's good. It's good. What a serve.
Right, for a neutral. Fifth
Wow.
set, 13-13. As they say in
These
the
two
VNL.
have served up a treat here in Ljubljana. Whoever wins. Jant goes again. Telly's the libero with a pick-up! The block has landed in!
It's a Kong block one-handed for the captain, and he's come out of nowhere on that one. He's seen Flavio go to his right-hand side. Brazil are called for a timeout. Here we see that Flavio's got to his right-hand side, and the captain has read it so well.
And Brazil call the timeout. Of course they do. Of course they do. Staring down a match point. What a match here.
Deixar as linhas, tá? Pensar, vai ficar 1 por 1. Os caras estão ali, tá? Só engula pouco mais. O ralo tá lá pro 5. Tá? Pra não desigualdar.
Well,
well, Brazil haven't lost an opening match at a World Champs in over half a century. But they're a match point down here. And, oh, Jant, agony, pulls the serve. 14-14. Tension. Now, with Brazil all set to serve, it's Cuba who call the timeout.
Vuelvo y repito, pero bloqueo los extremos. Todo el mundo tiene que estar en función de la bola. ¿Ok? Y después seguimos jugando, pero salimos del saque. ¿Ok? Es un punto nada más. Preparado, recibo. Todo el mundo preparado.
What a roller coaster. 51 more matches to come, by the way. If they're only half as enthralling as this, we're in for one of the all-time classic World Championship competitions. Felipe Roque, 14-all. Oh, set wasn't good. It's a bit of a hustle. Wallacey with the overpass. It's at the libero. They get back in system here, Cuba. And the big swing misses. What a chance. What a chance Cuba had there. They've missed it. Are they going to go for a punt, throw a challenge in? I think Lopez knows, though, doesn't he? So, we're so close here. After almost 2.5 hours out on court on the opening morning. Which way is this going to go? I thought it was a punt. It's come clean through from Lopez. There clearly was a seam there, and it's come through the open arms of Lucas Sackkamp. But a clean out, and it goes down as a major miss at a crucial time in the match. So, match point themselves here, Brazil. Felipe Roque on serve. That's crunched back out. Roque comes back up and over. We go to 15s. Well, couldn't afford to miss that swing. Lopez, and didn't. You can't call a timeout every time you're setting up a match point. So on we go now with Osniel Magarejo. Switch their hitters all the way through. Jant and Lopez have been the key scorers for them, and then Magarejo rotated in to at least get the serve in play. Nets it. Match point, Brazil again. Fernando cracks the tape. Simon with the first point of contact, and the third as well. Just bouncing off that set and into the block. Nothing Brazil can do in that time to make the adjustment and steer it back down and on the court. 16-all. One-handed set for that kill. Match point number 3 for Brazil. 17-16. So Fernando just steering it to Lucas. And Rodriguinho almost wins it with the ace. Cuba with the overpass. This could be the moment for Brazil. It is the moment for Brazil. They win an epic, enthralling match for the ages on the opening morning of these 2022 World Champs. Cuba won the first 2 sets. Brazil have then taken the following 3 for an absolutely heart-stopping win. Oh, Cuba will have to try and recover. They face Qatar in their next match, but well, this will have put a rocket behind Brazil's challenge. The team that have been in the final at each of the last 5 World Champs. They came very close to losing an opening match at the World Champs for the first time in 52 years. But the cream rose in the end, and they saw out the win. What a match! How well does this bode for these World Champs? The first of 4 matches in Arena Stojice today. The first of 6 on the opening day of the World Champs. We've got 2 over in Poland as well. USA, Mexico, Poland, Bulgaria. But just enjoy these images from the back end of Brazil's tremendous triumph here. What a match. Well, we knew we were in for something special after Cuba took the opening set 33-31. They won the second 25-21, then back came Brazil 25-16, 25-17, and then in the decider 18-16. It was so close. And Cuba, although they've lost here, they are back after 2 World Champs, which were basically written off because they were a team in transition and were struggling to find an identity. But the Central Americans, the Pan Am Cup winners from earlier this summer, the Challenger Cup winners, are a force again at world level. Story of the match then, 15 blocks to 10. Ultimately, Brazil finally got their block working, and it was close in terms of ace serves in the shake-up. Cuba just edging that 6-5.
Thanks, Andy. So you join me courtside now with one of the winning players, Fernando from Brazil. Well, as World Championship matches start off, a 5-setter against Cuba. Tell me your thoughts about that game, coming from 2-0 down.
Yeah, it's not easy, huh? It's not easy to play a World Championship against Cuba. It's a young team and strong team. But, well, we have to give everything we have every point, and I think we did this today.
After going 2-0 down, obviously, coach made some changes. You came on the setting duty. How do you find it from a setting point of view to taking some control in the game?
Sometimes you just have to change the way you play. You set the balls a little bit faster. Sometimes you have to keep it simple, but I don't know. I was ready to get in, to do my best to help my teammates, and yeah, that was all.
Great turnaround, and you've got Japan in a couple of days' time. So any prep, anything you'll get up to in those 2 days before Japan?
Sorry?
In your preparation for Japan, anything special to get up to, or is it just relaxation and back into training mode?
We practice a lot. We'll keep doing that, and we're going to study a lot also, and I don't know. That's it.
Well, we wish you all the best in Japan and the rest of the competition. Thank you very much for joining us. Back to you, Andy.
Well, thanks, Mark, and thanks to Fernando as well. Well, he made a big impact on this match, didn't he, as the setter coming in for Bruno, the captain. Changed the complexion, really, after they lost those the first 2 sets. So Japan and Qatar next out on court in the second match here in Pool B, and it'll be France against Germany in Pool D. And the programme today will be completed by the hosts, Slovenia, opening their campaign, taking on Cameroon. Well, we've got 6 matches to play in this pool. We'll take a closer look at the group table after Japan and Qatar is finished. But wow, what a match here. Brazil taking Cuba in 5.